We're at 1:30 before race 2, and we just saw Franzel run straight down the starting line, knowing that there's going to be current and that this is where you're going to need to be on your final approach. It's very close to the line. The other boats have been hanging back, and although they may have learned their lesson and come up at the last moment, particularly if they get a big lifting blast. Here comes Franzel on a port approach, and he does have a half of his competitors are setting up pretty well. It looks like Franzel is tacking a little bit sooner than he wanted to because of his starboard boat approaching. But he's going to stay close hauled here, stay up on this line. Now he's going to luff up because he's running on a runway. In fact, he should go all the way into the wind to luff up here to avoid being early at the pin. 20 seconds ago, and they're still early. The other boats are late, by the way. These boats are going to have any sort of header, and they're not making this pin. Although there's a white boat that's looking like they might just make it. Franzel is having to bail. They did arrive too early, and that'll be a bad start for them. These guys are going to just nail it here. I think they got this without being early, and they're going to just miss the pin as well. A great start. Notice the boats that are just so late back there. Franzel bailed and will probably be come out of it ahead midway. Go faster. Or right. One or the other. I mean left. Yeah, Franzel's in the middle of the pack. He had to tack under some starboard boats. That's Rigel way out front, the boat that just perfectly nailed the start. And it's close after that. This looks like a Wade Edwards in second. And any sort of lefty, and they're going to gain on Rigel, who is still pretty far out there. Rigel is finally tacked out of the upper right. And if they've laid the mark, they should still have lead. Oh, a big righty is about to hit. Look at Les Beckwith on Blue Jay. Wound up, but Rigel is not, which means that Wade can't tack under Rigel, or else they won't make the mark. Or they may still have trouble making it, unless they get lifted. Of course, Blue Jay has shown a big lift. Maybe they're reaching into the mark now. Rigel doesn't appear to be reaching. They appear to be just barely making this. And now there's another little lift. Rigel will make it no problem, as will the next two boats. Franzel is still scrapping for 6th, looking for a place to tack in. Oh, and Warp Drive is going to have to pinch around. Unfortunately, they're so lifted that they're pinching bow into the current instead of being pulled sideways by it. And in fact, the current has appeared to have died off a tiny bit. Perhaps the locks are closed on the Charles River. Franzel makes it around in 6th as predicted. And with a lifting blast, boats are not having a problem laying the mark. However, what this lift means is they may want to be jibing on the run. Let's take a look to see if any of the leaders have jibed. And one of them started to, but ran into a starboard tacker. Or no, they could have held port pole, but they decided to come back to starboard. Only the first place boat right now is on port. Everyone else is on starboard. Conservative early takedown and rounding for the leader, Rigel. Unlike Wade, who counts on his crew for late takedown and a good rounding, close the gap. Remember, they gained quite a bit in the first race downwind with that good crew work, and they've done it again here. They're a close second and heading inshore, completely apart from Rigel in 1st and Warp Drive in 3rd. Franzel has moved up to 5th on the run and will round. A nice split at the gate so far. Wow, lift on Les Beckwith's Blue Jay as they round. That's going to make it tough for John Power to hang there, because Blue Jay's got such a high line out of that mark. Yeah, that is making it tough for Power to try to hang in that line, because they don't have the jib ground in all the way, and they also don't have all the weight up on the rail yet. So they're having trouble hanging. They don't want to tack, though, because they're lifted. So they're just going to have to fall back a little bit. They do now indeed tack, as we see another boat rounding with the spinnaker half up. The race class boat. The spinnaker is coming down a little late. There's another boat that should take advantage of them, but they're starting to turn late and they just don't even turn at all. Well, that's going to be very costly there. They could have picked up the race class, but they decided to go down the elevator instead. Oh, and the boat has just missed the mark. The leaders, I believe that's still Rigel, are not making this mark, so they're going to have to double tack. But they're leading by so much, it shouldn't hurt them. Oh wait, that's not Rigel, that's Wade Edwards, who is taking the lead in this race. Remember, they rounded the right gate looking downwind. And played a couple wind shifts and are now taking a nice lead. They're also going really fast upwind on the first beat. Possibly because they have this really sweet jib, more likely because they know exactly how to trim and tune and steer this thing to good speed. They also have good crew work on this boat, so let's see how fast they can pop the chute despite the double tack. And they do have a little bit of a delay on this spinnaker getting it up, but they're leading by so much it won't hurt. All right, Blue Jay's going to have to dip one and under tack the other. And again, we're in a nice breeze here, and the current has died down, so assuming they get that jib in, they should be able to just make this mark. But look who's caught up is Franzel on the outside. He's not going to have trouble making the mark, unlike Blue Jay, who will have trouble making this mark. And in fact, Blue Jay is not going to make the mark. Oh, Blue Jay is, looks like they're past. That's not good. And it's not going to help them make it either. Blue Jay is out of there. So I moves Franzel up to third. They're looking good on the day. Rigel drops all the way to fourth after leading the first lap. Blue Jay has finally gotten free of the mark after dragging it a little bit. And they're making penalty turns now. I think they're out of the woods here. They should be able to tack in there clean, especially since they've moved the mark out of their own way a little bit. So convergence here. This white boat needs to stay up. It's the racing class. And they do. They just give way there, but not by much. With Santuza putting their nose in. Santuza should just drive out of here. Why sit there and lose what you just gained? Same thing with Phoebe. They round this mark and they would be smart to go low early and get away from those three boats. All right, here's third and fourth coming into the mark. Wade's rounded first already and is launched. Franzel, somewhat conservative takedown on both boats, maybe just right. And easy to cover for Franzel since Rigel is rounding the same mark. But both roundings are a little bit on the wide side. They went straight to the mark and then started the turn rather than starting the turn a little early. They're also seem to be in a header right now. And there's breeze way up ahead, but they're taking a header to get to it. Jim Pettipaw's team just rounding now. And they are also phoning that jib in. They just need to be getting that done a little sooner so they can get on the rail. Got one crew on the rail. They took the chute down. The rest are still fighting sails to leeward.